A sigh is a continuous, involuntary mechanical reflex that keeps you alive. Inside your lungs are millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli, which trade oxygen for carbon dioxide. Over time, the physical structure of these sacs naturally begins to collapse. To prevent your lungs from slowly failing, your body triggers a massive, sudden expansion that forces them open again. Your central nervous system uses this deep breath as an internal sensor. When oxygen levels drop or carbon dioxide builds up in your blood, the brain forces a sigh to test the system and spike your physiological arousal levels, ensuring you wake up or react if you're in danger. This is a respiratory waveform chart showing the distinct physiological sequence of a sigh. It starts with a normal, regular breath, known as a eupneic breath. But before you exhale, your lungs pull in a sharp, augmented second inhale. Then the chart drops into a flat line. This crucial pause is called the post-sigh apnea, a temporary, hardwired suspension of breathing. This exact sequence proves that the respiratory system is doing work beyond basic ventilation. The sigh acts as a built-in reset button for your neurological and emotional state. Under baseline, healthy conditions, human breathing is chaotic and highly variable. Your respiratory network maintains this flexibility deliberately, allowing you to instantly adapt to speaking, laughing, or reacting to sudden environmental demands. Chronic stress and daily anxiety corrupt this natural variability. They lock your body into sympathetic overdrive. The sympathetic nervous system is the biological network responsible for your fight or flight response, priming your organs for immediate physical danger. Trapped in this state, your body attempts to compensate by sighing excessively. It backfires completely. The constant pausing and deep inhaling creates massive random fluctuations in your breathing. Your brain misinterprets this erratic rhythm as a severe threat, pushing you into a state of intense hyperarousal and panic. Panic and anxiety disorders are the direct biological result of this homeostatic loop, the body's system for maintaining internal stability breaking down entirely. The mechanism linking breathing and heart rate lives deep in the brainstem. This is the origin of the sigh and the center of respiratory control, a microscopic cluster of neurons called the pre-Botzinger complex. This tiny bundle of cells operates through a process called network reconfiguration. Depending on the body's chemical needs, this exact same neural cluster shapeshifts its activity. It generates the smooth rhythm of normal breathing, the desperate rhythm of a gasp, or the deep, overriding pattern of a sigh. The pre-Botzinger complex also commands the cardiovascular system. This mechanism is called cardiorespiratory coupling, a hardwired neurological tether directly connecting this brainstem cluster to the beating of your heart. This is a dual-axis chart tracking exactly how a sigh manipulates the heart. The top line is respiratory volume, and the bottom line is heart rate. As you take that massive inhale, your heart rate briefly spikes. But during the post-sigh apnea, it forces a sharp deceleration in heart rate. This exact drop activates the vagus nerve, a major neural pathway that dictates your body's relaxation responses. Because your heart and lungs share this neurological tether, physically controlling your breath gives you direct, mechanical control over your heart's stress response. A recent clinical study tracked highly stressed female clinicians working in a quaternary hospital to measure this biological mechanism in action. The participants wore biometric smart shirts to continuously monitor their physiological stress throughout their shifts. The researchers relied on heart rate variability, or HRV. HRV is an objective data biomarker measuring the variance in time between individual heartbeats. It reveals the exact balance between a person's stressed sympathetic nervous system and their relaxed parasympathetic nervous system. A specific mindfulness exercise, known as the body scan, produced immediate, statistically significant improvements across every single HRV stress parameter. The physical act of the exercise forced a total sympathetic withdrawal. This scatterplot captures the clinician's biometric state. Look at the left panel. The narrow torpedo shape maps minimal heartbeat variability, the signature of severe stress. Now look at the right panel. The data expands into a wide fan shape, confirming restored parasympathetic dominance. Mindfulness is a quantifiable, targeted biological intervention that reliably disables the body's alarm system. The biometric data also issued a specific warning. When participants engaged in forced deep breathing, their heart rate variability sometimes dropped. The forced breathing actually increased their physiological stress. This paradox occurs because forcing an unnatural breathing rhythm without proper resonance causes the heart and lungs to fall completely out of sync. It creates a chaotic biological stressor. This chart shows the ultimate correlation. Look at the downward trend line on the left. Individuals who achieved the highest physiological relaxation were the exact same individuals who reported the largest drop in their subjective anxiety. The mind-body connection operates in both directions. Emotional stress aggressively alters your breathing and heart rate, but by understanding the neurobiology of the sigh, you can directly manipulate your brainstem. You have a manual override for human anxiety.